Morning! Happy Friday the 13th. I want to give you a little quick tip of the day. I hear a lot of, mainly ladies, I guess you could say, that will tell me whenever they're lifting weights that they'll have strain in their wrist and their forearm, that their forearm or wrist, either one, will give out as they're lifting, or when they get done, that they'll feel a strain or pain later on. And just a little tip. The first tip that I always recommend, and I wear these anyway all the time. I love my gloves. They got good grip. You can pick these up at the Walmart. I like leather gloves, but they're just good enough. Your hands, I'll even show you if you don't use these. See, your hands are free. Your little fingers are free, but see, you got padding for weights, and you got good grip, and you can hold on to it better. And I don't know about you, but when I lift weights, my hands get sweaty. And I just don't like weights sliding around and all that sweat, and you'll constantly have to wipe your hands off. I don't like that. So I like my gloves. Another thing is, whenever you're lifting your weight, it depends on what muscle you're working, but anytime you're working a muscle, no matter what it is, you need to make sure that the focus is on that muscle, not on any other part of your body. So, for example, if you're working your bicep and you're holding on to this weight so tight, trying to balance it, trying to hold on to it, that you're trying to work your bicep, you're going to strain and you're going to hurt something. I mean, I always go on all the time about lifting heavy weights, and girls need to lift heavy, yes. But you also need to work your way up to that. You don't need to just go out and start banging heavy weights. You need to work your way up to it and get every muscle involved stronger, as you know, whatever muscle you're working. But whenever you're working, say I'm working my bicep, okay, see, my hand is wide open. See, you shouldn't be sending it, you shouldn't be gripping it so tight, because that right there is forcing strain on your wrist. You should just be able to hold your hand wide open and work the muscle, and it should just sit there. I mean, it should be heavy enough that you're working the muscle, but not so heavy that you're having to hold on to it to keep it, balanced, because you're forced to work other muscles other than your bicep. Same way as if you're working overhead. If I'm pushing this over my head, see, my hand is wide open. See, I'm not going side to side. I'm not trying to balance it. I know there's times when you're working a certain reps that you want to go a little bit heavier and you're trying to force up. That'll happen on the last rep, like when you're trying to get that last rep. But when you're starting out, when you're sitting here, this is the first rep, you do not want to be sitting here going, because you're putting more strain, especially if you're having to hold on to it real tight to keep it from going this way or that way or hitting your head. You want to make sure you can just push it overhead, and it's still putting strain on the muscle, still working the muscle, and going with proper form. So you want to have proper form. And see, my hand is wide open. I can do that. And that's the way when you're lifting weights, it should be. No matter what you're doing, you should not over grip it, because you're forcing strain on other parts of your arm or whatever muscle you're working that don't need to be there. The same as another thing is whenever you're lifting weights. I know you see it all the time. Bodybuilders and stuff, they'll strain their face, they'll grit their teeth. That's not good either. You need to keep whatever muscle you're not working. If I'm working my arms, I don't need to be straining my face. I don't need to be straining my legs. I don't need to be straining anything else other than what muscle I'm working. And that's just another little tip. Try to, think about that whenever you are working. When you're lifting, if you are gritting your teeth and making these ugly faces, you might think about you're going just a little bit, unless it's on the last rep. Like I said, if everything is on the last rep, if you're trying to get that last little one and you just, that's all right. But you don't want to start out gritting your teeth and making those strainy faces, because that's just not good. You're really not doing your body any good. You need to work your way up to that. And so that's just my little tip for the day, and I hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend, and talk to you later.